Key one, a stoic life can hit hard, and those mistakes and regrets you carry around feel like weight on your shoulders. But here's the hard truth. Those things do not define you. They are simply chapters in your story, not the whole book. Right now, we're flipping the page. Think of the past as a minefield, a series of what-ifs and if-onlys that linger in your mind. We all know that feeling. The promotion that slipped away, the relationship that crashed and burned, the opportunities you didn't seize. Those moments, they can haunt you. But here's the key. They don't control you. You have the power to rewrite your future. This isn't about motivational fluff or empty promises. This is about transformation. You're not stuck in the past unless you let it tie you down. And that's what's been happening. Your history has been holding you hostage, keeping you from becoming the person you're truly meant to be. Whether you're 16 or 60, whether you're at rock bottom or climbing up, this moment is your wake-up call. Are you ready to break free? Are you prepared to turn your scars into stars? Let's do this. Let's be real. Your past, it's like quicksand. The more you struggle with it, the deeper you sink. You keep replaying the failures. You get stuck on that broken record, constantly hearing that voice in your head. Remember what happened last time? It's paralyzing, isn't it? Well, science has your back on this. Our brains are wired to remember negative experiences more than positive ones. A survival instinct gone wrong. Now it's holding you back from living fully. Think of it this way. You're carrying a backpack. Every mistake, regret, missed opportunity, and failed attempt is added to that pack. Day after day, year after year. The weight, it's crushing you. And guess what? It doesn't just affect you, it affects everything. Your relationships, your career, your dreams. You're not showing up as your best self because you're stuck being the old version of yourself. And let's not sugarcoat it. It feels comfortable in a twisted way. Being trapped in your past gives you an excuse. You don't have to try because, hey, your past messed you up. But here's the question. Is that backpack worth the life you could be living? Are those old stories worth sacrificing your future for? Here's a reality check. Your past only holds as much power as you give it. You are the author of your story, and right now, you're letting your past hold the pen. It's time to take control and rewrite it. Instead of viewing your past as a prison, see it as a classroom. Every setback, every failure, every hard lesson, it's all education. You didn't learn to walk without falling down. You didn't learn to talk without stumbling over words. Why should life be any different? Let's draw wisdom from the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the power you've been overlooking. How you choose to respond to your experiences. That's where your strength lies. How do you shift this mindset? First, stop seeing yourself as a victim. You are not here to be beaten by fate. You are a warrior in training, and every setback is just preparing you for your next challenge. Next, get curious. Instead of punishing yourself for past mistakes, ask, what can I learn from this? Maybe that breakup taught you what you truly need in a partner. Maybe that job loss pushed you to discover your true passion. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. Finally, practice gratitude. It may sound soft, but hear me out. What if every single challenge you faced was actually setting you up for something better? That setback at work, it pushed you to start the business you've been dreaming about. That rejection, it cleared the way for something bigger. Here's a challenge for you. Take the one regret that keeps you up at night and find 3 ways it made you stronger, wiser, or more resilient. Done? Congratulations. You just turned poison into medicine. That's the power of reframing. Your past isn't something to run from. It's the crucible that refines you. Now, let's get one thing clear. Failure is not your enemy. In fact, it's your greatest ally. Every time you fail, you're not falling behind. You're falling forward. Think about the last time you failed, the disappointment, the shame, the self-doubt. But imagine if you could use that energy, that pain, to fuel your next move. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's the lesson. Your failure doesn't define you. Your response does. Success is a lousy teacher. It makes you feel invincible. But failure? Failure keeps you hungry. It keeps you humble. It keeps you learning. Have you ever met someone who's never failed? I'll tell you what they look like. Soft, untested, and unprepared for life's real challenges. Now think about the people you admire. The ones who've made it big. I guarantee their path wasn't a straight line. It was full of detours, failures, and comebacks. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone who succeeds. Or look at J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter, she was a broke, divorced single mother. 12 publishers rejected her first book. Now she's one of the most successful authors in history. These aren't just feel-good stories. They're blueprints. They show us that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Here's the secret. Your power isn't in your past. It's not in your future. It's right here, right now. The present moment is your playground. Let's be honest. How much time do you spend reliving past mistakes or worrying about future problems? Too much, right? And in the process, life slips through your fingers. Marcus Aurelius nailed it when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The past is gone. The future isn't here yet. All you've got is now. Have you ever been so absorbed in something, maybe a game, a conversation, or a task, that time seemed to disappear? That's the flow state. It's when you're fully engaged, fully present, and it's where peak performance happens. I'm not saying to ignore your past or stop planning for your future. What I'm saying is, don't let them steal your present. The only moment you truly control is now. Don't let it slip away. So here's the challenge. Are you ready to break free from the chains of your past? Are you prepared to turn your failures into fuel and rewrite your story? The present is waiting. The future is yours to create. Step into it with courage and watch your life transform. Key 1. Stoic, the past is behind you, and the future is uncertain. What truly matters is this very moment. This present moment is your opportunity to act, to be fully alive, and to make a real difference in your life. Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, pay close attention every time your mind drifts to the past or the future. When it does, gently bring it back to the now. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you do in this moment to move closer to your goals? Epictetus once said, "The wise man does not grieve for what he lacks, but rejoices for what he has." Take a moment to ask yourself, are you truly appreciating what you have, or are you too focused on regrets about yesterday or fears about tomorrow? Think of it this way. Imagine driving a car. The windshield is vast, but the rearview mirror is tiny. Why? Because where you're going is far more important than where you've been. Your life is no different. By focusing on the present, you tap into your true power. You can't change the past, and the future is beyond your control, but the present, this moment, is where your power lies. This is where you can choose, act, and begin to shape your future. Buddha, not a Stoic but a wise soul nonetheless, said the secret to health, both mind and body, is not in mourning the past or worrying about the future, but in living wisely and earnestly in the present moment. So what will you do now? Take a deep breath. Next time you find yourself dwelling on the past or stressing about the future, feel your feet on the ground. Look around. What can you do right now to move forward? Because life isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens in this very moment, and you have the power to shape it. Now, let's talk about breaking free from expectations. The world, your family, society, they all have their own ideas of who you should be and what you should do. But here's the truth. These expectations are their limitations, not yours. As the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, care about what others think, and you will always be their prisoner. Every time you try to meet someone else's expectations, you lock yourself into a life designed by others. How many times have you held yourself back because you thought that's just not what people like you do? How many times have you dimmed your own dreams because they didn't fit the mold someone else made for you? It's time for a wake-up call. The world doesn't need more copies of everyone else. It needs you, the real, authentic, unapologetic you. The legendary Japanese swordsman and philosopher Miyamoto Musashi said, "Do not fear death. Fear instead never beginning to live." Are you truly living if you're always trying to meet other people's expectations? Question every should and supposed to. Are those your goals or someone else's dreams for you? Remember, the path of least resistance often leads to a life of quiet desperation. Don't go quietly. Go boldly. Pursue the life that sets your soul on fire, even if it means disappointing a few people along the way. Here's an exercise. Write down the expectations others have of you. Now, cross out the ones that don't align with your true self. Can you feel that weight lifting off your shoulders? Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." So what do you want to become? A people pleaser living someone else's life, or the architect of your own destiny? Your potential is not limited by other people's imaginations. It's limited only by your courage to break free from their expectations. So, are you ready to shatter the mold? Are you prepared to disappoint a few people to become the person you were always meant to be? Because in the end, you won't regret the expectations you failed to meet. You'll regret the life you failed to live. Now, let's talk about your future. Your future isn't some distant place you'll just stumble into. It's something you create right now, with every choice you make. Your past is just raw material, and you're the blacksmith shaping it in the forge of this very moment. Let me make this clear. Your future is not written in stone. Your past mistakes or your current circumstances do not define it. It's shaped by your actions, your decisions, and your mindset. As Seneca, the great Stoic, once said, "It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that things are difficult." How often have you held back because you thought you weren't ready? Because you were afraid of failing again? Here's the truth. You'll never be 100% ready. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Your future is built in the trenches of today through effort, sweat, and relentless forward motion. Now, imagine you're standing at the foot of a mountain. Your past is the valley behind you, and your future is the peak ahead. Are you going to stand there, paralyzed by the height of the summit? Or are you going to start climbing one step at a time? Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Once you realize this, you'll find the strength you need. Your future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you make happen right now. So, what do you want to be in 5 years? Got it in your mind? Good. Now, ask yourself, what are you doing today to make that future a reality? Every great achievement started with a single step. The Great Wall of China began with one brick. Your transformation starts with one decision right now. Your past doesn't equal your future unless you choose to live there. You're not a tree. You're not rooted in one spot. You can move. You can grow. You can change. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." It's not enough to dream about your future. You have to put in the work to make it real. So, take out a piece of paper and write down your vision for the future. Now, beneath that, list 3 things you can do this week. Yes, this week, to move toward that vision. Your future is created in the present with every choice and every action you take. Are you ready to start creating something new? Your past has brought you here, but it doesn't get to decide where you go next. That power lies with you, right here, right now. Now, let's talk about turning pain into power. The pain you're carrying isn't a burden, it's fuel. Every scar, setback, and moment that's knocked you down is potential energy waiting to be ignited. Nietzsche famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." But let me take it a step further. it doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you unstoppable. Every hardship you've faced has taught you something. Resilience, creativity, grit. These aren't just words. They're the weapons you've forged in the fires of adversity. Remember, the most influential people in history weren't the ones who had it easy. They were the ones who've been through hell and come back with a map to guide others. So here's what I want you to do. Take your biggest pain point, the thing that keeps you up at night, and ask yourself, how can I use this? How can I turn this pain into something powerful, not just for myself, but for others? That failed business could become the foundation of a mentorship program. That heartbreak could turn into art that inspires others. Your rock bottom could be the bedrock for someone else's breakthrough. This isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about acknowledging your pain, respecting it, and using it as fuel for your growth. A diamond is just a piece of coal that handled stress exceptionally well. So, are you ready to stop being the victim of your circumstances? Are you prepared to become the alchemist of your life and turn your pain into power? Let's get to work. Key 1 to Stoic turning ideas into action is where true power lies. Knowledge without action is like a Ferrari without gas. Impressive, but ultimately useless. So let's start with self-reflection. Every night, ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow? What can I improve tomorrow? This isn't just journaling. It's a way to reprogram your mind to focus on progress instead of guilt. As Epictetus said, a wise man is one who does not grieve for what he is not, but rejoices for what he has. This mindset fosters gratitude. Every morning, list 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how big or small. This simple act trains your brain to seek out positivity instead of dwelling on the negative. Next, challenge your self-talk. Catch yourself when you think, I always mess up, or I'll never be good enough. Replace these with, I'm learning and improving every day. Your words shape your reality. Choose them wisely. Now, here's a powerful exercise. Create a failure resume. List your biggest setbacks and what you learned from each one. This isn't about self-pity, it's about celebrating your resilience. You've taken the hits and kept moving forward, proof of your strength. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we have power over our minds, not over external events. By realizing this, you unlock a wellspring of inner strength. Practice mindfulness every day, just 10 minutes to breathe, to be present. This builds your mental muscle and helps you stay focused on the now, not stuck in the past. When it comes to goals, don't just set them. Reverse engineer them. Want to run a marathon? Start with a 5K. Want to write a book? Write 1 page a day. Break your big dreams down into small, daily actions. Here's a challenge. Do 1 thing every day that scares you. It could be speaking up in a meeting, trying a new workout, or tackling a difficult conversation. Doing this builds courage and proves that you can handle discomfort. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So practice visualization. Spend 5 minutes a day imagining yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and becoming the person you want to be. Your mind doesn't always distinguish between reality and imagination. Use this to your advantage. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Find mentors, join groups, read books by those who've overcome challenges similar to yours. Your environment shapes you. Make sure it's shaping you in the right direction. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds like a lot of work, and you're right. But ask yourself, is the life you want worth the effort? Are you ready to work to become the person you know you can be? Every master was once a disaster, and every expert was once a beginner. The difference? They didn't let their past define them. They used it as a launch pad. Which of these steps will you take today? Which one resonates with you the most? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Your future self is watching. What will you show them? Let's talk about the journey ahead. It won't be easy. There will be obstacles, doubts, and old habits trying to pull you back. But remember, the obstacle is the way. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove your strength, sharpen your skills, and grow. Challenge that voice in your head, the one telling you that you're not good enough, that you'll never change. Prove it wrong. Every single day. You're not your thoughts. You're the one who decides which thoughts to believe. And let's not forget the comfort zone. It's cozy there, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. Seneca nailed it. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that things are difficult. So get uncomfortable. Embrace the challenge. Growth happens in the discomfort zone. You'll have setbacks. You'll have days when you feel like you're starting from square one again. But here's the truth. Setbacks are setups for comebacks. Every time you fall, you learn how to rise stronger. It's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. People around you may not understand. They might try to pull you back to your old self. But Epictetus wisely said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Their opinion doesn't matter. Your growth does. There will be days when motivation fails. That's when discipline steps in. Motivation is fickle, but discipline is reliable. Build habits that pull you toward your goals, even on your worst days. You may feel like an imposter sometimes. Good. That means you're pushing your boundaries. Remember Aristotle's words. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Eventually, you'll become the person you're pretending to be. The hardest challenge is patience, especially in a world of instant gratification. Real change takes time. But ask yourself, where will you be in a year if you keep pushing forward? Where will you be if you give up? Visualize your future self thanking you for not giving up. Let that feeling fuel you. Remember, every hero's journey includes challenges. Without the dragon, there's no hero. You're